You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and it's not every day that you get to speak with a king of comedy. I'm talking about Cedric the Entertainer, who is on fire. Run, don't walk to your Netflix, and
Yeah.
be sure to tap Swapped because it just dropped. It will not disappoint. It's a film that includes even the Michael B. Jordan. It's a buddy comedy about a small woodland creature and this majestic bird, natural sworn enemies who suddenly swap bodies. And they got to team up, walking in each other's feathers and fur. You like that? To survive the
Yeah.
wildest adventures of their lives. Here to talk about that film. And we're going to talk about his he's killing it on Broadway. Cedric the Entertainer, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, brother? Indeed. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Talk to us about, why you decided to make this film Swapped. It's very different from anything else that you've ever made, but you bring the funny as you always do.
Yeah, the opportunity to do animated movies, man, has always been this thing where you use your voice, you tell this story, and you try to take people into this imaginary world that you're experiencing. And I think as a voice actor, that's what you do. You kind of go back to when you were a child, playing with your toys in your room, and you're making up all the characters and just kind of playing by yourself. And that's pretty much the process because you record all alone. You're never really with the other actors when you record. And so, but it's the idea of seeing this story, working with the director, understanding the message that he's trying to take, and then using that voice to make these moments feel real. And so I really love that experience and that process. And, really happy to be, of course, not even knowing Michael B. Jordan was going to win an Oscar, but he just was like, he's just a good dude. And this movie is going to work out just by having to be a part of it. And then, of course, Tracy Morgan, my good friend, funny voice in there as well. So, I think people are going to enjoy this. Let's make it number one. Make sure you stream it this all weekend long.
I mean, it's probably a good thing that you and Michael B. Jordan and Tracy Morgan weren't in the same room, weren't on set at the same time, because that might have been its own movie.
Without a doubt, I've definitely hung out with Tracy many, many times, and that is a movie. So I could imagine throwing Michael B. Jordan in that mix.
Talk to us about just sort of the focus of this film. It's supposed to be lighthearted. It's an animated film, but as I said earlier, it's about these natural sworn enemies of the valley who suddenly swap bodies, and they have to team up to survive this wild adventure, one of the wildest adventures of their lives. Is this life imitating art or art imitating life, given the state of our country?
That's so interesting. I believe that is, that is the story to be told. Is the idea that, one character, Michael B. Jordan's character is a small little animal creature, say even like smaller than a chipmunk, right? And I play his father, and our thing is that we are small. We're usually prey for all the bigger animals, so we live small. We live, hey, staying out the way and keeping it low and keeping a low profile, and yet his character is big. He's young, he's rambunctious, he's experimental, he wants to try things. And so he goes out and he kind of leaves the reservation with the idea that he can do something more, and switches with a bird. So this allows him to fly and see worlds from a different perspective. And ultimately comes back to realize that he was enough, that he was always a self. He loved to be able to see world from a different perspective and take us and show us like, hey, man, the world is bigger than this small little nook and cranny we stay in. And I love that as a roadmap for so many in real life. Hey, aspire, but don't lose yourself in the process.
I mean, I'm just hearing you say that, it makes me wonder what is it that you think that you brought to this film in terms of bringing these characters to life that maybe you wouldn't have brought to this film 20 years ago or 25 years ago. I mean, people like to say that, you get older, you get a little wiser. Do you
Yeah.
think that that made the difference in how you brought this character to life?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, the maturity of understanding that, one actually living that experience. I grew up in a small town, Caruthersville, Missouri, and then St. Louis. But in Caruthersville, to desire to see yourself as a movie star, to see yourself dreaming as a big television star, that's out of the box. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to get a job at this factory and you're going to go to work, right? And then my mother, who was a school teacher, and then, you go to college and you're going to get a corporate job and you're going to get your pension and that's what you're going to do. And yet you decide, like, no, I'm freer than all of that. And once you do, you still realize that the core of who you are is more important than the desire of being what you want you become. Like, you stay as a grounded person, humble, kind to others, a good dude. That's the real thing that matters, right? And everybody can make a little money or have a little fame, but ultimately, are you a good dude? Are you a good person? Are you here to be of service? I think that's what I think this movie represents, and some of the things that I was able to add to it by, this character that knew that my son wanted to be great. I just wanted to make sure that I was protecting him from the people that were willing to do him harm.
Cedric, you're such a multi hyphenate creative force. You've been an executive producer, a director, an actor. We all know you as a comedian, even as an author. We certainly know you as a king of comedy. But how do you think of yourself in the quietude, when you are offset, when you are recharging? How do you think of yourself? Do you even think of yourself as a movie star, or are there days where you still wake up and pinch yourself? You're like, this is really my life.
Man, no, I'm still very blue collar about it in a way. I love the idea of just working and entertaining and trying different things and experimenting. And so I kind of live life very inquisitive, man. I like to learn something new, try a new experience, and trust it. Just, ever since I decided to jump off the porch of being just in corporate America and kind of being safe, and got my mother to understand that I believe that I can live as me. She was like, what? And I was like, I just want to be me. I don't know. That's kind of why the name came about. I just wasn't one thing. I wasn't necessarily just a comedian. I wasn't necessarily just an actor. I just did it all. And I was like, don't call me a comedian. I'm a sing when I go up there. I'm gonna do a poem. I'm a dance. I had dance routines when I first started. I used to do it all on stage, man. I was just having a good time.
Well, you ensure that we all have a good time whenever you're on stage. A lot of people are having a good time watching you in August Wilson's Joe Turner's Come and Gone, directed by Golden Globe Award and four-time Emmy Award winner Debbie Allen. Talk to us about this extraordinary Broadway performance that people are buzzing about. Look, anybody who taps into August Wilson, right? I mean, that's where you want to be. Isn't that sort of nirvana for
Oh,
actors on the stage?
without a doubt, man. I mean, he is one of the great playwrights of our time. People liken him to the Black Shakespeare. The words that he writes and the plays that he's done mean so much to our culture, to the point that Denzel Washington has decided to produce all 10 of these plays. This Pittsburgh series that he did 10 plays there into films, and he's done Fences already, Piano Lessons, and Ma Rainey, I believe. Yeah, he's done those three already. And so this one is lined up to go. And to be able to come and perform these great words from such a, unique playwright, I think is just a special time for me to have Taraji P. Henson, amazing talent, such a legend in her own right. And of course, to be directed by Debbie Allen is just such a unique opportunity for me. And, coming off 8 seasons of a sitcom, really blessed to have done The Neighborhood for 8 seasons. But, to come here and do live, to be on Broadway, on the floor seats of acting. This is it, baby. We right out here where it go down. And the sound is bubbling and the play is working, and I'm just loving being a part of the community right now. Something totally different. Is rejuvenating for me. Is regenerating like an energy to go and be more creative and try different things. And so I'm excited, man.
I mean, is it slightly intimidating for you, Cedric? Because when you get on the stage, I would imagine that there's a muscle memory there as a great comedian, right? And when you are in this play, you have lines, you have certain, sort of stage blocking, right? I mean, there are certain mechanics, and there's
Yeah.
a muscle memory as an actor on stage that is a little bit different than the muscle memory that you need as a king of comedy, no?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's luckily again, like having someone like Debbie Allen direct me, she wanted to embrace all of that. She's very honest with the play, but because this play is written about, rich Black characters, people that we grew up with, things that read dramatic, played by me, come off funny. And it's not like a joke, but she loved that. She was like, "Yes, you still are my uncle, though. Like I know that it's not a joke, but just the way that you're embracing it, you make it very real." And I think the play needed that because it is a very heavy play. It is about people coming out of slavery and coming up north and trying to find their footing and their grounding, and yet this curmudgeonous character that runs this boarding house that I play is everybody uncle, somebody grandfather. Like I know this dude, in the way that I'm able to deliver it. She was able to let me find my natural ability to make people laugh while also landing the gravitas and the groundedness of who the character is. And so I think that that's really what's been magical about the opportunity in this performance, is to be all things while I'm on that stage. A great dramatic actor while also landing some really cool comedic moments, which I didn't get to really do in the first Broadway play. I didn't have that. It was all dramatic, and I never really gave my audience an opportunity to kind of laugh and be relieved with the person that they know already, which is the person that comes into their house and make them laugh all these years.
Cedric, this film, to your point, is set in 1911. Joe Turner's Come and Gone. It's set in 1911, takes place in a Pittsburgh boarding house, which was really a refuge for
Yeah.
Black travelers navigating the upheaval of the Great Migration. I'm just thinking about a conversation I had recently with Mopreme Shakur, the eldest brother of Tupac Shakur, who has a book that's out where he's talking about Black liberation. And, I'm curious as to, what this story has taught you, what you're hearing from fans about what insights, what lessons this story offers Black people today in the continued struggle for our liberation.
Man, I think, it's so many things that resonate in this play today. I think, one thing, Debbie's direction has been so great that I've heard so many people go, I've saw this play many times. Never have I kind of been able to follow it because of this mixture of humanity, humor, and great storytelling, that I'm able to see this play in a way that's like, oh, this is very reminiscent of me. The idea that, some of the young women in there are trying to look for where they belong in the world, and is it attached to a man or is it attached to their own identity? Me being a businessman and a homeowner, yet knowing that I have all of these spirits and energies that come in and out of my house, where I have to be in control of that. I have to kind of make sure that people come in and they're respectful to each other, and there is a degree of citizenship and community amongst us. And this is how we can all get along, if we just understand that there is decorum and rules to things. And then you can be your individual self, but just like understand that we don't cross lines of disrespect. And I think that that's so prevalent in the world, where we are recognizing that is lost with this leadership, that people have decided to cross lines that aren't necessary in order to be a great human being or even a citizen, to wake up every day and just be simply cordial to one another and allow you people to move on and do their thing. You don't have to be angry about everything. And so I think that that's some of the stronger messages that I see in here, especially but us culturally, is us always fighting for who we want to be. Like if we're just allowed to be, and so we often are always fighting against adversarial forces that's really just preventing me from just living how I want to live. I don't have any energy for what it is that you're doing. I don't know why you pay so much attention to me. Like I just want to do me, you do you, we're good, right? And again, long as we can be cordial and good citizens and everybody cool, I don't understand what the problem is. So why are you all on my side? No, stopping me from voting, stopping me from getting a house. What is that all about? Caring about if I got a job that you can't have. Like what's the problem? Relax, man. Like we all out here doing the same thing. So
Mhm. Well, we're going to be out here watching Swapped on Netflix. And if we're in New York, we're going to catch you
yes.
on Broadway. Joe Turner's Come and Gone with Cedric the Entertainer, Taraji P. Henson. It is where you want to be. Our thanks to you. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. I'll holler. Thank you.